You don't need expensive treatments or drastic changes to feel beautiful again. In fact, one of the most powerful transformations starts right at the top: your hairstyle. If you've ever looked in the mirror and felt like something was just off, even after putting effort into your look, it might be because your haircut or part isn't working with your natural features. And no, this isn't about chasing trends. This is about understanding your own unique facial structure and the shape of your head so that your hair actually enhances your beauty, not hides it. Today, I'm going to show you how to choose a hairstyle that works with you, not against you, especially if you're over 50 and want to feel more confident, radiant, and put together than ever. Common hair mistakes women over 50 often make as we get older. Our hair changes, but so should the way we style it. One of the biggest mistakes I see women over 50 make is trying to stick with the same hairstyle they've had for decades. What worked in your 30s might not be doing you any favors now. For example, overly long hair can actually drag your face down, making you look more tired than you feel. Another common misstep: sticking to a perfectly straight middle part because it's trendy, even if it emphasizes the length in your face or flattens out your natural volume. There's also a tendency to play it too safe, pulling everything back tightly or choosing styles that are too stiff or outdated. These choices can age your appearance more than any wrinkle ever could. And let's not forget ignoring your cranial shape. That's the actual structure of the top of your head, which influences how your hair lays and whether it naturally gives you height or needs a little help. The truth is, your hairstyle should evolve with you. And once you understand how to work with your features, not against them, you'll start to see how just a small change can make a big difference. Understanding the cranial top, the hidden key to a flattering hairstyle. Here's something most people overlook when choosing a haircut: the actual shape of your head. It's called your cranial top, and it plays a major role in how your hair looks, whether it naturally has volume or tends to fall flat. Think of it like this. Some women have a high cranial top, meaning the top of their head is more elevated or rounded. Others have a low cranial top, where the top appears flatter and sits closer to the scalp. Why does this matter? Because it affects how your part looks, how much lift your hair has, and what styles will naturally suit you best. For example, if you have a low cranial top and you part your hair right down the middle, you might notice that your face feels more exposed or even looks wider. That's because you don't have that built-in height that helps elongate and balance out your features. On the other hand, if you have a high cranial top, you already have a bit of visual height, so you can play more freely with middle or off-center parts. The key is to know what you're working with. Once you figure out your cranial top, choosing a style becomes less about guessing and more about enhancing, whether you want to add softness, lift, or definition. Now, choosing the right hairstyle for your face and head shape. Now that you know how your cranial top affects your overall look, let's bring your face shape into the conversation, because these two things work together. A lot of hair advice out there says, if you have a round face, avoid this, or if your face is long, never do that. But the truth is, there's no one-size-fits-all rule. What matters more is how you balance your features. Let's say you have a longer face and a high cranial top, like actress Laura Dern. Most stylists would tell her to avoid a middle part. But because of how her hair falls, how she uses soft waves, and even the shape of her hairline, specifically her widow's peak, it actually works beautifully. The waves soften the angles, and her natural part shortens the forehead visually. It's all about harmony, not hard rules. Now, if you have a rounder face and a low cranial top, like Olivia Cooke, parting your hair straight down the middle without adding height can make the face feel wider. In that case, soft layering, curtain bangs, or even a little lift at the crown can bring out a more balanced silhouette. Bottom line, the goal isn't to follow celebrity styles, it's to understand why they work. Once you see how shape and structure influence balance, you can make smarter choices that enhance your natural beauty. At-home styling tips for women over 50. Let's talk solutions. Specifically, what you can do at home to make your hair work for you, no matter your cranial top or face shape. If you have a low cranial top, your main goal should be adding height and volume at the crown. The best way to do that: start with a lightweight volumizing mouse while your hair is still damp. Work it into the roots, especially around the top and crown area. Then, during your blow dry, lift the hair upward with either your fingers or a round brush. This simple motion creates the illusion of a fuller, more lifted shape. If you're using a blow-dry brush or styling tool, make sure you're directing the airflow upwards, not just out to the sides. And if you really want to level up your routine, try a volume tool like the Volume. It adds discreet texture under the top layers to give your style long-lasting lift without needing to tease your hair. For those with high cranial tops, you already have height, so your focus should be on softness and balance. Think layers that frame the face or loose waves that add horizontal movement. Even shifting your part slightly off-center can take pressure off a longer face and help it appear more balanced. And here's a universal tip for anyone: don't ignore your hairline. If you have a widow's peak or strong forehead shape, that can guide your natural part and be a huge advantage when styled right. It's not about fighting your features, it's about working with them, breaking the rules gracefully. Why the best style might be the one that's not supposed to work. Here's something I want you to remember: just because a rule exists doesn't mean it applies to you. Some of the most striking, elegant women, over 50, are the ones who break the so-called hair rules and look even better for it. Take Laura Dern again. She has a longer face, which many would say shouldn't suit a middle part. But when you look closer, it's clear why it works. She embraces soft texture, adds volume in the right places, and lets her natural features shine. Her style isn't about hiding flaws. It's about enhancing the things that make her look uniquely herself. You can do the same. If you've been told to avoid short bangs, deep side parts, or volume because of your age or face shape, I'm here to say, try it anyway. What matters most is how the style makes you feel. Because confidence isn't created in a salon chair. It's built the moment you see yourself in the mirror and actually like what you see. So experiment. Tweak. Learn your features. Once you stop styling out of fear of what won't work, you open the door to finding what truly does. A personal story: how a small hair change gave my mom her confidence back. Let me share a quick story that really shows how powerful the right hairstyle can be. A few years ago, my mom, who's in her early 60s, told me she was starting to feel invisible. She said she didn't recognize herself anymore. Her hair was thinning, flat, and always pulled back because she didn't know what else to do with it. So we sat down and looked at her features. She had a lower cranial top, a beautiful round face, and strong cheekbones, but her current style was doing nothing to show that off. We decided to shift her part slightly off-center, add soft layers around her cheeks, and give her crown a little volume using just mouse and a round brush. The change wasn't dramatic, but the effect was... Suddenly, her face looked lifted. Her eyes looked brighter. But the best part, she couldn't stop smiling. It wasn't just about the hair. It was about seeing a version of herself she liked again. And that's what I want for you too. This isn't about looking younger for anyone else. It's about choosing a style that brings you back into the picture. Because you're still here, and you still deserve to feel beautiful. So if you've ever looked in the mirror and thought, something's just not working anymore, now you know. It's probably not you, it's your haircut. And more importantly, it's the idea that you have to follow some rigid rules about age, style, or what's appropriate after 50. But here's the truth. You get to decide what works for you. Once you understand your cranial shape, your face structure, and how to play with volume, parting, and softness, you stop guessing. And you start seeing, you see balance. You see beauty. You see yourself again. If this video helped you see your hair in a new light, leave a little heart in the comments. And if you're curious about what type of curls can enhance your features even more, I've got a great follow-up waiting for you. Just click on the next video. I'll meet you there.